Hi there, Lindsay here again, and today I wanted to show you an updated, or how I'm going to update our morning basket for our morning basket time. We have currently been using a storybook Bible, our character training, or child training Bible, and a few other pieces, and we've been keeping our actual morning basket time to around 30 minutes per day, which is working really, really well for the girls' attention span. And I just kind of want to freshen it up. It's been 3 weeks since we have began our school year. Since we began our school year. Sorry, poor grammar choice. So we'd like to update these things a little bit and just try to, sorry, that's needing to come undone, and try to keep things fresh and keep things interesting. So things that we're going to keep are our Zondervan Bible storybook. So we're still continuing on with the New Testament stories from the Bible storybook. We are still continuing on with our child training Bible, and we have gone through all of our anger, complaining, and defiance. We're starting on discouraged, and the girls really enjoy this just because of the fact that it's like so colorful, and they like to find these little tabs and correlate them to what we're reading about. I still have my hymnal in here. We haven't really needed this because our music is on our school phone, which I will probably, I don't know, I might go in and try to talk about that someday. So we've got our hymnal that we haven't really used, and we have made it through about 7 chapters of book 3 from, book 1. 7 chapters of book 1 from Confessions by St. Augustine. And I think we're going to put this aside for a little bit. And this is really meaty. It is, it has a lot of concepts that I feel like most mature Christians would also need to chew on for a long time to fully swallow and grasp. So it is really heavy for my girls. They sit there and they listen, and it's got beautiful language and beautiful writing in it. But I do think that we need to set this aside for a little while we move on to focusing more on the stories from Dante. And we have read, I think, 2 passages out of this particular book, and I'd like to focus a little more specifically on this book for this 3-week session. So we will keep that, but we will take out Confessions. We have completed reading through the Monet book here, where it gave us a little synopsis of his life. It gave us a few discussions on his various series with like the sailboats and the water lilies, and this was really effective for the girls. They really enjoyed this, listening to it while they were actually using the pastels and looking at the pictures. So I'd like to carry on with Monet and possibly add in some Renoir. And in order to do that, I will have to buy the Renoir. I believe they make, yes, they do have Renoir. They have quite a few different artists on here. And the impressionistic period and style has really kind of spoken to me. So we're going to keep working on this, but I need to get a fresh artist as well as continuing on with Monet. And I need to supplement a little bit more with that. We have our Carnival of the Animals that we have been going through. We've been doing that with our Maestros Classics and reading the book, this particular book. This book does not correlate exactly with this particular CD and little activity guide. This particular one it comes with this little activity guide, which is kind of fun, where it goes in and kind of gives you a little biography without it being too much. It gives you the little poems about the animals, and then it kind of, oh, this is cute. Yes. Caitlin, she plays piano, or she's learning to play piano, so she can actually like go through and read the notes on these things. She enjoyed that. And I think in the back it does have a few little, no, not this one. This one doesn't have the puzzles. In the Merry Pranks of Master Till, which I need to snag 2 seconds. Ha. In the Merry Pranks of Master Till. The little booklet that comes along with it has some of the stories, and then it also goes through and it shows you the musical instruments, which is kind of like what Squilt, which is sitting quietly, or silent, no, Squilt, sitting quietly, uninterrupted listening. I want to say that's what that stands for, but I don't know. I can't remember. But they go through and have you look at the various instruments, listen specifically for those instruments. We haven't really done anything to that effect, but you know, this one also has like a little maze that I could photocopy and the girls could do. It's got another biography. It's got a little crossword puzzle. This one, the girls, you know, it's brand new, so it's not quite so familiar, and it's got a great little like artwork, like that paper piecing art. That's so cute to me. So we're adding this in, and we're taking out Carnival of the Animals. All right, so we've got a few things taken out. Perfect. We also went through and we read some of these Grimm fairy tales. We're gonna set this aside for now so that we can add on. Where did it go? Too many piles. So we can add on some Arabian Nights. Right now in Story of the World, we are reading about India. And so I think these will be fun to listen to and walk through. And I want to say that these books at Barnes & Noble were less than $8. Actually, they were probably close to $7 because we've got like the Barnes & Noble membership thing. So that is being added in. We still have our pastels, which are getting loved very much. Our box is starting to fall apart here. What are you gonna do? Art is meant to be enjoyed and messy and loved, and then all I have left in here are just some Q-tips for the actual pastels. So, oh, nope, I lied. I misspoke. We've also got our Claritas Publishing Cycle 2 memory workbook, and we're on week 4. And I will say this particular memory work is really good, especially if you use the MP3s that you can buy along with this book. And I did do a quick review video about this a few weeks back. The memory work is really great. It goes right along with Story of the World, which is fantastic. I feel like anytime you have memory work, it's an excellent peg, but sometimes it's better to have context. So on the beginning of the week, we go through and we read these things and we sing these things, and adjusting to a new week's songs is a little bit of a struggle for the first 2 days or so, and especially if we don't really have many places to go and listen to it in the car. But once we kind of get the tune down in our heads, it really works well. And my Molly, 3.5, almost 4, she sits there and she sings conjugations in Latin all the time now. So it's really cute. And, but like our history, you know, here we are, we're on chapter 5 and 6 for Story of the World this week, and it's talking about Islam, it's talking about Buddhism, it's talking about Muhammad, it's talking about India, and it's really going through all of these things. Next week we will go through and pick up on Islam. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's got that peg, and it gives us something to remember and hang extra information onto. But because we're going along with Story of the World, and this Claritas Publishing is a 4-year cycle instead of a 3-year cycle like Classical Conversations, it really lines up well with Story of the World, and I do believe that was by design. So we are going to keep these things in our morning basket, along with we've still got our artist paper, our multimedia paper over here, and yeah, so I'm going to just get this all loaded back in here. And I do think I'm going to take my hymnal out. It sits right here on our piano. I'll turn you around here. So it sits right here at our piano anyway, and so it's not like it's a reach for us to just pick up the hymnal if I want to have the actual sheet music to go along with our hymn. And so we've got Storybook Bible, Dante, Child Training Bible, our CD for this 3-week session, our art materials. It's going to go on, are going to go on this side because that seemed to work out nicely, and memory work. And I think the fun thing about Morning Basket is the fact that you can really tailor it to how your children respond in a given day, and it's not something that's set in stone where you can't modify it as needed. There have been plenty of times where we have not gone through and read the Grimm's storybook or the Grimm's fairy tales book because we've just run out of time, or we've lingered a little bit longer over oil pastels, or if it's just a really hairy morning where we've got to get not only half of our lessons completed, but we've also got to go get appointments handled, then we can kind of shave a little bit of time off in Morning Basket. And if we have the opportunity to come back to it in like after we're home again, then we can come back to those things without feeling like we're missing out on anything. But at the same time, if we do miss out on something for one day, it's not the end of the world. And one thing I also would like to say is I kind of want to keep up this Morning Basket thing even whenever we take breaks, just because I think that the consistency with a Morning Basket is part of the beauty of it. And it's not true school book lessons, and it's just really exposing children to the beautiful things that we have. And I think that consistency in exposing them is really, really important for their development. So anyway, so that is our update for weeks 4, 5, and 6, and I will come back in a few weeks and show you how we change it up again for our weeks 7, 8, and 9. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!